Procurement is where the rubber meets the road for tech leaders. Public sector CIOs and technology directors ensure that the sum of our technology investments are more than the individual actions, that we have a direction, that we're acting on priorities, and that we're able to be agile in rapidly evolving environments. The idiom where the rubber meets the road refers to that moment of truth where a plan is put into practical effect and its effectiveness is tested, a critical point where success or failure is determined. The ability to procure effectively and deliver on the policy priorities, and then to establish a contract portfolio that drives the direction, is one of the critical markers of success for a technology leader. So what are some of the ways we can elevate procurement to meet this lofty goal while still meeting the core mission and training of procurement professionals? I have 3 areas of focus. First, fully align the IT governance and procurement processes. It's very common for tech leaders to establish governance strategies such as investment review boards to ensure that new proposed projects are consistent with the standards and priorities of leadership, and to mitigate the risk on delivering on these initiatives. That process is powerful, but it's often disjointed from sourcing. Let's deeply integrate them. Establish sourcing strategy in the governance process and create a flow so that the outputs of the governance review flow directly into sourcing. Doing so drives bigger thinking about the potential events and reduces the number of steps for agencies. Intentional alignment of these 2 processes encourages better solutions and elevates the procurement professionals. Second, make the contract portfolio deliver enterprise architecture. So if we think about our contracts as assets in a portfolio instead of some dusty output of sourcing that sits in our file folders, we open up opportunity. If everything in our contract portfolio is consistent with our direction and nothing is in the portfolio that conflicts with our direction, then in effect, that contract portfolio becomes the most visible part of our enterprise architecture goals. One of the biggest reasons this is a benefit to the technology office is it helps them become an enabler instead of a gatekeeper. And the shift matters. Instead of hearing, no, wait, they instead find a yes. Here's our certified route. This thoughtful approach to sourcing also extends to making our vendors be aligned with our goals and processes. If the good sourcing and contracting includes the limitations on what vendors can do and incentives for vendors to act in a way consistent with our direction, everyone is better off, and it reduces obvious potentials for headaches in operations. And third, expand the tools in the toolkit for IT procurement. The traditional RFP is often a source of frustration for technology leaders, and it's not completely without basis. Traditional RFPs can be slow and meticulous and are not as agile as the shifts that we see every day and week in the technology landscape. So while the RFP is a solid form of sourcing, if it's the only way that we go to market, then it's easy to demonize as being slow. So if along with this single style of sourcing, we are thoughtful on what kind of contract solves this problem most effectively. Is it task order style contracts, such as the deliverable-based IT services contracts that have proliferated in multiple states? Is it using cooperative contracts through NASPO and others to accelerate to an outcome? Is it employing creative go-to-market models, such as Michigan's competitive proof of concept approach, which allows for a touch and feel in the middle of the sourcing events to make better decisions? These things and more collectively are about having the right tool for the right issue in hand and not simply trying to solve every problem with one tool. Thinking creatively here will dramatically improve the ability of technology leaders to work with procurement professionals to create a more effective and efficient approach to sourcing. So in summary, I believe that procurement is not an impediment for technology leaders. It is where the rubber meets the road. It's where vision becomes contract, vendor becomes partner, and no, not yet becomes yes this way. Hi, it's Dustin Lanier. Thanks for listening. Please find me on LinkedIn for original public sector operations content every week. And please reach out to me if I and my team of procurement professionals at Civic Initiatives can help you be a public procurement change agent.